Alright, so today's video is going to be a good one because we have another blog article from our favorite Australian. I effing love Australia. And this one's titled, Canadians give Taco Tuesday 0 Fs. Visits to US cities have collapsed 42%. Now, I'm not going to curse yet. I mean, a lot of cursing will probably come out later through this article. But if I start cursing right out the gate, YouTube will most likely limit the reach of my video, which I don't want. I want people to see this. Now, IFLA's last Substack article that I read out, it showed his disappointment when it came to the United States, which I agree with. But this time around, he holds no punches when it comes to talking about the United States and how they've dug themselves into this hole. I always like hearing opinions from outside of North America, because no matter what, us Canadians, we're right next to the meth lab, and sometimes our judgment might be skewed. But when you hear it from somebody from the outside, it just reaffirms that we're doing the right thing. I did send IFLA a message on Substack, and I did invite him onto my channel. He did reply, but no answer on whether or not he wants to come on and, shoot the shit. So IFLA, if you're watching this right now, the invite to come onto my channel is always there if you want it. Now, before I start on the article, a quick update on 2 out of the 4 petitions that I'm featuring on my channel. On the left is a petition to have Pete Hoekstra reviewed or even possibly kicked out of Canada. This petition is at 9,978 signatures at the time I'm editing this video. So by the time you're watching this, it should be well over 10,000, I think. The one on the right, the TLDR for this one is to basically get ICE out of Canada and review any contracts that Canada has with ICE or Homeland Security. This one's currently at 5,527 signatures, with plenty of time left. So if any of these petitions interest you, or you hate Pete Hoekstra or you don't like ICE, the link to the petitions will be in the description below as well as a pinned comment. Okay, let's get started on this Substack article by I Effin' Love Australia. If you need a coffee or tea, pause it here. And for those listening and the visually impaired, I'll read the whole thing out for you. I lived in Calgary for a year, swung a hammer on building sites through one of their winters, the kind of cold that freezes your nose hair into little stalactites, and makes you question every shithouse life decision that delivered you there. And I'll tell you one thing, I came home dead certain of. Canadians are, without a single word of exaggeration, the friendliest, most decent bastards walking this earth. Us and them, Aussies and Canucks, we're basically the same bloody animal, same dark humor, same allergy to wankers, same instincts to give a total stranger a hand, and then apologize for taking too long doing it. I reckon we got separated at birth, and one of us copped the better weather. I don't know, I think it depends on your version of better weather. I'm sitting in Malaysia right now at 35 degrees and melting, and I would much rather be in Vancouver weather. So when I tell you what these lovely hold the door open, sorry I bumped into your elbow, it's kind of funny. I'm going to tell a quick story here. I was at an airport lounge, this is way before COVID, and as I was leaving the airport lounge, there was a cardboard cutout of a flight attendant. And I didn't really notice until when I walked out. I thought it was an actual person. And I bumped into it, and I actually apologized. So I apologized to a cardboard cutout. It's not the exact same one that's on the screen here. I'm just kind of showing it as reference. But the first thing my wife asked was, did you just apologize to a cardboard cutout? And I was like, yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Anyways, let's get back to it. So when I tell you these lovely, hold the door open, sorry I bumped into your elbow people have just done to Taco Tuesday, I need you to feel the full weight of it. Because it genuinely takes a special breed of fuckwit to make a Canadian properly angry. You have to work at it. You have to be relentless, all day, professional grade arsehole. And Taco Tuesday didn't just manage to do it. He made 41 million of them quietly, politely, without raising their voice one single decibel. Kick his entire holiday economy square in the fucking knackers. Now, I don't think it's 41 million. I mean, we got our fair share of maple magas that actually want us to join the US, but we're not going to talk about them. The number is 42. 42%. That's the median collapse in Canadian visits to American cities. And it wasn't pulled out of some dodgy foam pool or a marketing dropkick cooked up over lunch. Researchers at the University of Toronto School of Cities tracked anonymized mobile data across 266 US metro areas, 2 full years of it, April 2024 to March 2026. Phones leaving Canada stopped in America, pissing off home again. And nearly half of that traffic has simply evaporated into the cold Canadian air. Now here's the bit that should have Taco Tuesday's people sweating clean through their cheap fucking suits. The official border numbers, the comfortable ones that Washington has been clinging to, like a drowning kid clutching a tax return, said that the drop was around 25%. Bad, but survivable. The phone data says 42%. That's a 17-point gap, not a rounding error you pack of drongos. What's a drongo? It's the difference between a bruise and a surgical amputation. The border only counts whether Canadians cross. The phones show what they did once they got there. And what they did was fewer visits, spend less, stay shorter, and bugger off home early. The ones still going are barely going at all. They're crossing the line, taking one disgusted look around and leaving. Now, this part here on the Canadians still going south, I just did a report yesterday or the day before that basically talks about how Canadians used to go to a brewery and before they would spend like money on like 5 or 6 different things, now they're taking one at most. Now, even if we're giving the Canadians going south, the stink eye or waving our fingers at them, you have to wonder how much less are they also spending as well. Back to the article. It gets worse. Ooh, I like it when it gets worse. And I want you to fucking savor this. Myrtle Beach, that sunbaked monument to mediocre mini golf and servo sushi, posted the steepest fall in the entire country at 65%. 2/3 gone, vanished. Panama City, Orlando, Cape Coral, Miami, Naples, the whole Taco Tuesday beloved Florida swamp, all of it in the worst hit basket. Out of 266 American cities, exactly 3 saw Canadian numbers go up. 3. Portland, Cleveland, and Gainesville. When Cleveland is your tourism success story, mate, you have not won a single thing. You have handed the participation ribbon at a disaster Olympics, and the prick handing it over won't even look at you in the eye. I don't know about you, but I love this guy's humor. And here's where the clogged artery Caligula and his economic geniuses really should have been paying attention, because this is the part that turns a little sad story into a slow, public disemboweling. It's not just the snowbirds. The University of Toronto crew flagged that business travel has cratered too. San Francisco, Houston, Dallas, Grand Rapids, New York. These are not the place anyone's visit for beach and watered-down daiquiris. These are tech, energy, finance, and auto towns. When executive travel between 2 countries fall off a cliff, that is not some retiree deciding Portugal sounds nicer this year. That's a boardroom decision. That's a company full of serious people quietly concluding that face-to-face meetings, the supplier audit, the deal scouting trip, all of it can wait or happen on a video call, or shift to a partner in Frankfurt who isn't going to get governed by a tantrum. Tourism comes back in a season. Business confidence comes back when the bloke running the country stops behaving like a deflated orange dairy gibble. That's a deer gibble. Full of grievance and gas. So, don't hold your fucking breath. Now let's zoom right out, because Canadian boycotts is only the loudest part of the much bigger, uglier problem. The World Travel and Tourism Council had a proper look at 184 economies around the planet. Every single one of them is projected to grow in its international visitor spending this year. Every last one. Except with Solidarity, lonely, jaundiced exception. The United States of bloody America. The biggest travel market on Earth. The country which all the canyons, the casinos, and the theme parks and Grand fucking Canyon is the only nation of 184 going backwards. International visitor spending tipped to slide under 169 billion US dollars, down from 181 billion in 2024, and a $12.5 billion hole punched straight through the floor. The rest of the world is rolling out the welcome mat. Taco Tuesday has nailed a close sign on the front door of his own house, set the porch on fire, and is now wandering the smoke hallways, wondering where the fuck everybody went. Now, I have to disagree a little bit on this part because I don't think Taco Tuesday is wondering where everybody went. It's the businesses and states and tourism industry that's wondering where everyone went. When you're dealing with a narcissist, he's never wrong. And he sees the tourism industry right now as a major success. It's the people around him that are wondering where everybody is. Back to the article. This is the genius of a man, the self-described master deal maker. He looked at the single most reliable, most lucrative, most embarrassingly loyal customer America has ever had. The friendly neighbors who spent $20-odd billion a year propping up his hotel and his ski lifts and his tacky duty-free shops, and decided the smart play was to slap him with tariffs and bang on about annexing them for the 51st state. He called them freeloaders. He questioned their sovereignty. And then the pumpkin spice bankruptcy engine had the absolute gall to look genuinely surprised when 41 million of them shut their wallets, zipped them up, and walked. What did you think was going to happen, you stupid bastard? You spit in a man's beer and then sulk because he won't shout you the next round. Now here's the part that really describes the differences between Canadians and Americans. The quiet Canadian versus the loud American. Here is the contrast that should be tattooed on the inside of every American hotel owner's eyelid, in big screaming, sleeping ruining letters. While Taco Tuesday was screeching, Mark Carney said almost fuck all. Carney is a central banker, ran the Bank of Canada, then the Bank of England. The man does not do tantrums, he does spreadsheets. And when Taco Tuesday came at Canada swinging tariffs and threats like a pissed bloke at closing time, Carney did not match him or scream for him. He gave ground. He scrapped the digital service tax that had been needling the American tech giants, did it overnight, and the White House crowed like a pack of roosters that Canada had caved. He lifted a swag of Canada's retaliatory tariffs. He ramped up defense spending. Every concession Washington demanded, Carney handed over with a polite little nod and a thin smile. Are you done yet? Come on, please. And the tariffs on Canadian goods stayed exactly where they fucking are. The annexation talk did not stop. The American ambassador actually complained out loud, on record, that Canadians were not being passionate enough about the relationship. The absolute brass neck of that. You shiv a bloke in a kidney, give it a twist, and then you suck that he's not smiling warmly enough at you while he bleeds. Yeah, that's definitely a good description of Pete Hoekstra. God, I hate that guy. I don't like using the word hate, but I definitely will make an exception for Pete Hoekstra. But here's what the loud orange men in Washington, in their stupidity, never understood. Carney was not caving. He was buying time, that sly bastard. While Taco Tuesday was doing a sweaty victory lap over a digital tax, Carney was quietly spinning the entire Canadian economy on his axis. Canadian exports to the European Union are up 26% in a single year. Exports to Central and South America are up 13%. He did not need to win a shouting match with a man who shouts for a living. He just needed his people to keep doing exactly what they were already doing, household by household, kitchen table by kitchen table, which was deciding, all on their own, to stop spending their hard-earned money in a country whose president treats them like a conquered province and a punchline. Carney did not organize his boycott. He did not have to lift a finger. He got out of the way and let 41 million of the politest people on earth deliver the most devastating verdict a human being can deliver. They did not march. They did not chant. They did not lob a brick through a window. They just canceled the Florida trip, sold the condo in Boca, booked Costa Rica instead, and apologized to the travel agent for inconvenience. That is the most Canadian act of war in recorded history, and it is working better than any tariff that mango-colored shit show ever dreamed of. Now, IFLA brought up a really good point here. Every Canadian has a right to be pissed off right now. And I know we have a lot of anger inside us and disappointment. But how we handled it? There are a lot of reports in the past that I've shown where hotel owners or businesses, or even tourism officials, have said that they've spoken to Canadians, and the Canadians have politely said, sorry, we are not coming back down. Now, flip it around the other way. Do you think the United States citizens, the average everyday US citizen, would handle it the way we did? No, my guess is it would be a shouting match, lots of cursing, and lots of arrogant talk or messages for whoever's on the receiving end. Rejecting the United States and how we portray ourselves is totally up to us. We could be vile, we could be full of cursing and, fuck you and whatever else. Or we could be polite and just say, sorry, we just can't do this anymore. I don't like to talk about this because I don't want my channel to be about sponsors and anything, but I do get a lot of sponsor requests from US businesses, out of all people. I've had requests from law firms, insurance companies, travel companies, all based in the United States. And when I reply back to them, I had two options. One option is to be as vile as I can. Tell them it's fuck your country, screw your government, and all this kind of stuff. The second, which is what I do, I politely tell them, I do not think this partnership aligns with my channel, and it will go against my beliefs when it comes to the sovereignty of my country. But I do appreciate the offer. Now, I'm going to be fully transparent. Some of these offers are pretty damn good. They're 4 digits. But I can't bring it to myself to actually partner with anyone that's trying to take over my country. Anyways, I went on a little bit of a tangent, but let's get back to this. I got 2 more screenshots. Why this does not bounce back. The leaking orange hot water bottle. And his crew of I think I might steal that one. The leaking orange hot water bottle and his crew of yes men are no doubt telling themselves that this is temporary. Tariffs come off, leaders change, the dollar rebalances, and the Canadians come crawling back to Mar-a-Lago and the Orlando queues with their wallets out and their tails wagging. Now here comes the best part of the article. Wrong, you mongrels. Dead fucking wrong. Habits broken at scale do not snap back on their own. The Quebec family that did Costa Rica this year had a cracking time and is already going again. The retiree who sold his Florida condo and bought in Portugal is not unwinding that, not for the love nor money. The Ontario manufacturer that found a reliable German supplier is not ringing the American one back because of an election result. Behavior change is sticky as buggery, and it gets stickier every single month it holds. Meanwhile, American hotels rebrand for domestic guests. Theme parks quietly rejig their numbers. Real estate reprices. And every single one of those adjustments nails the door shut by a low tire. By the time Washington wants Canadians back, there may not be a relationship left to come back to. Just a cold seat and a bill. Last screenshot. Let's tally the score. Carney handed the Taco Tuesday every concession that prick demanded. Lost nothing that actually mattered. Swung Canadian exports hard into Europe. Kept his dignity. Kept his cool. And watched his own citizens hand America the invoice without saying a word. Taco Tuesday torched the loyalty of the best customer his country ever had, drove Canadian visits down 42%, made the United States the only nation out of 184 on the entire planet going backwards on tourism, blew a $12.5 billion hole in his own economy, and is currently being warned by senators on his own side that his big head mouth is gutting their own border towns. To be honest, I don't even think he knows his border towns exist. One of these blokes is a central banker who barely raised his voice. The other is a self-proclaimed deal maker who looks at a gold mine, calls it a freeloader, and sets it on fire to keep his own withered hands warm. The Canadians did not slam the door. That is not their way and it has never been. They closed it gently, the way you close a door on a sleeping baby, and they say sorry as they did it. And somehow that is so much fucking worse for him. Now, to my Canadian viewers watching this right now or listening to what I just read out, I think we have to remember, this article didn't come from within our country. These are observations from those around the world who are seeing our efforts when it comes to our next door neighbor. I really wanted to show this article because, well, one, it's hilarious, and I picked up a new nickname, the Leaking Orange Hot Water Bottle. But I really also wanted to read this out for everyone, at least for the Canadians, to show that the majority of the rest of the world does stand with Canada, and that they see with their own eyes our efforts when it comes to boycotting the United States. So to I Love Fucking Australia, thanks for creating another great Substack article regarding Canada. And if you're watching this, like I said earlier, you're welcome to join me on my channel anytime. For those of you watching right now, I'll leave a link in the description below in case you would like to subscribe to I Love Fucking Australia's Substack. To close off this video, I would like to thank Tanya for sending me this photo of the Bagel Bull on Whistler Mountain, British Columbia. And I do really appreciate you sharing it with the community and sending me a photo from my home province. Alright everyone, that's it for this video. And I do thank everyone that's still here and helping to watch to the end of the video. If you found any value in anything I said today, or you want to hear more from a Canadian and international point of view, without the US media bias, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below. That way you'll be notified of my future videos. And don't forget to hit the bell notification and select all. Now if you want to see more of my videos, check out the ones that are going to show up on your screen shortly. Thanks everyone, I'll catch you in the next one.